same. Okay, so today we'll be starting with our first session, which is quite simple, where our scope is just set to what is CRM and how you are going to be a part of this equation where companies, various organizations, and businesses are utilizing CRM. Okay, so first of all, a very warm good afternoon to all of you. Hope all of you are doing well. So, I know from the previous session you might have a few doubts regarding the actual feasibility of CRM, how it is accessed, what does the platform even look like. So today we'll be solving out all those doubts. Okay. So initially, we'll be discussing what is the full form of CRM, which I did explain yesterday. That is customer relationship management. Okay, and then we will be discussing what is CRM. Okay, what is the aim of CRM? Okay, what are the various modes in which CRM is being offered, and how one can access this CRM tool. Okay. Also, there will be a few assignment for you guys where I will require you to research upon the differences between CRM versus ERP. Okay, so ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. You can also look it up whenever you have some time. Okay, so CRM starts for Customer Relationship Management. Okay, now just let us take a look at this word. Okay, customer relationship. Okay, this basically means the starting point of the business's relationship with the customer. Okay, now this point, this relationship, it starts from the moment a customer has an interest or any kind of inclination towards buying the business's service or their product. Okay, so their relationship starts from the customer's interest. This interest can be naturally from the customer, or it could have been brought upon by various marketing techniques, by various advertisements done by the organization as well. Okay, so via various techniques, okay, which we are not focusing on right now. Okay, somehow the customer has some interest in the product or service being offered by the company or the organization. Okay, so once this interest has been developed, it will be moving on towards where the organization will be reaching out to the customer, quoting some price. Okay, explaining their product. Okay, giving some specifications regarding their product. Okay, and once again advertising their product in a more detailed manner. Okay, once it is successful, the customer might be inclined towards buying this product. Actually, then there will be another process of invoicing for the product or billing in terms of service, right? So there are various things which will be moving forward once the customer has established some sort of interest with the product or service. Okay, so once this has been done, naturally the customer has bought some service or product, they might need some after sales or after service support. Okay, so the company, it is the company's responsibility, it is the organization's responsibility to ensure that the customer has a good relationship with the organization. Okay, so that they are inclined towards better sales, towards better understanding of the company. Okay, so that the branding of the company is also maintained. So all these various aspects add to the customer relationship. Okay, and they will be focusing on various aspects with the same. Okay, so basically, CRM can be turned as a process or a system in which the business or organization just sort of tries to manage the interaction with the customers. Okay, it tries to find out all the different points where they are interacting with the customer, where they are affecting their sales, they're affecting their marketing. Okay, and various analytics regarding the same. Okay, they are also keeping various records of the customer, their behavior, the way they have been interacting with the organization. Okay, now this interaction also includes the interaction they have had with the company's employees. Okay, so if the customers are all obviously going to interact with the company's employees, we cannot keep the company's own employees, the organization as its own. Okay, apart from this CRM, the organization in itself is also going to be a part of the CRM. Okay, all the employees. Okay, starting from the ones who are directly interacting with the customer and those who are not directly interacting with the customer. Okay, so we can understand that the ones who are directly interacting with the customer, they have some influence over the customer's behavior and the customer's success with the company, right? And the ones who are not interacting with the customers, they might be making few decisions. Okay, they might be making few decisions which might be impacting the customer naturally. Okay, so take for example, there's a sales manager. Okay, although the sales manager is not interacting with each and every customer which is marked to a particular sales executive. Okay, only the sales executive is actually interacting with the customer, but the decisions taken by the sales manager, okay, the decisions which are being passed on from the sales manager to the sales executive are actually affecting the way the customer behaves with the sales executive and vice versa. So we are keeping a record of these decisions as well. Okay, so keeping a record of all these things, okay, we are doing with various tools. Okay, there are various companies which are using various tools. Okay, but for our understanding we will be focusing on the Dynamics 365 tool, okay, by Microsoft. Okay, as I explained earlier, we are under the domain of digital CRM. Okay, dynamic CRM which is being offered by Microsoft. Okay, now let us focus a little bit more on this particular tool by Microsoft. Okay, so this Microsoft tool is basically going to be offered in two modes. Okay, one is the online mode, okay, where you will be opening up a certain link in your Chrome browser or any of your browsing any of your search browsers. Okay, and you will be getting the access to the Microsoft Dynamics 365 setup. Okay, where you can work upon various functions as someone who is part of the organization or as someone who is the developer for this tool. Okay, at the same time it is also being offered on site. So what does this on site basically mean? On site basically means that there is a setup of computers. Okay, there is setup of systems in a particular physical location. Okay, so when you are actually online, you can be anywhere in the world and working on a CRM for a company where you have in the office which you have never even set foot. Okay, so they could be, the company could be having its office in Mumbai and you could be in Delhi working on their CRM on their online setup. Okay, but with the on-site CRM, okay, to maybe to entrust more security details, or maybe it is an in-house CRM project. Okay, you are actually working in the computer, okay, without opening any of your browsers. It is completely off-site, and you have downloaded an application of this Microsoft Dynamics 365 onto your system, and you are connected via the company server. Okay, so there are some 15, 20, or maybe 100,000 computers and systems which are linked together with the company server for this on-site Microsoft Dynamics 365. Okay, moving on. Okay, so how we are actually accessing this CRM? Okay, so first of all, I would request all of you to create a trials setup for your own CRM. Okay, there are various steps in which how you can create a trial setup, which I will be sharing with you guys soon. Okay, it will be part in the link as well. Okay, so you can access that.
Um,
Yes.
um, Mana Rohit this side. Can you please explain me about the difference between the online and on site? I was not sure on that. The type. Can you please go to earlier slide?
Sure, sure, sure.
But yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So what is the
so
on site? Yeah.
so basically, in the online CRM, okay, there are certain restrictions on to the development which you can do. Okay, so there are various developer tools which have, there are various developer tools, or I would rather say tools to customize the CRM. Okay, which have been offered by Microsoft. Okay, so Microsoft is going to be offering a lot of solutions to you. Okay, a lot of solutions. So basically, when you are trying to establish a relationship with a customer, okay, you have various problems which you need solution to. Okay, so there are few default solutions which a lot of companies are using. Okay, at the same time there are few companies which might need some customization in those default solutions which have already been created by Microsoft. Okay, these solutions are also very much accessible and very applicable to the current business scenarios. Okay, but sometimes they still need few customizations for that particular industry. So in your online CRM setup, what happens is you are just customizing this particular CRM. Okay, you're customizing this particular CRM. Okay, and in your on site, since you have the application actually onto your system, okay, it is installed on your computer. Okay, on your system it is as installed as an application. Okay, I would rather say right now you are in Google Meet. Okay, we are accessing this particular call on Google Meet. Okay, I have accessed this from my Chrome tab. Okay, I have opened up a link and I have opened up the Chrome tab. Okay, similarly for the online Microsoft Dynamics CRM, you also have a particular link which you will be accessing. Okay, at the same time we have some application for this as which we can download into our desktop. Okay, which will be a part of our local C drive or D drive where we can access this also we can go online. Okay, we can be connected to the internet via this as well. Okay, but on the on-site part in Microsoft Dynamics 365, this can function without even going online. Okay, this is something where you will be connected, okay, via the Ethernet connections between
Okay.
the system. Okay, at the same time you will have access to make a lot of uh, more developer
So
customizations. Okay, you can use
yes, basic.
actual programming languages like Java or maybe few others, where you can, and even .NET, where you can customize Microsoft Dynamics 365, and
Sure.
you need some developer skills for accessing the on-site one. But the online Dynamics 365 can be done without any developer skills. It just requires you to understand the customizations and the framework of this software. Okay.
Sure. So
uh,
basically, yeah, basically online means like, in my opinion, like, kind of, um, it's like hosted by Microsoft. Okay. And the on-site means like, I would be setting up, kind of all the database, all the kind of a server by ourselves. So we would
Right,
be having more
right.
control
So
kind of.
yes, yes. So you will be having end-to-end control on on-site, okay,
Yeah,
and on online the it will be hosted on Microsoft. Okay,
completely
you
agree.
won't be having the access to the servers or where it is actually being hosted. On the
Completely,
on-site, you will have physical assurance of this application being
completely,
present
yeah.
on your own system.
Thank you
Okay,
so much. Thanks so much. Yeah.
yeah. So we were just discussing about few solutions, okay, that how the CRM and connecting with the customer, okay, poses a few questions, a few problems for the company. Okay, to combat these problems, a lot of solutions are created. Solutions are created for sales, solutions are created for customer engagement, and for various different sectors of the company. Okay, including HR, including administration. Okay, so basically what is this solution? Okay, before I show what the solution actually looks like on your CRM system, I wanted to talk about solution, okay, for a little while. So basically a solution is sort of a uh, packaged components, okay, which have a few attributes. Okay, now these attributes are dependent on the way the customer requires the solution. Okay, what is the problem statement for which we have created this solution? Okay, so basically you can say that a solution is a set of components which has been packaged well together, okay, based on the requirements of the company, of the organization. Okay, this solution is either present by default in the CRM when you have installed or when you have created a new account in it. Okay, or this solution is a customization of the default solution, okay, which is already present. Okay, at the same time it can also be a completely new solution which has been created by a developer or a CRM executive. Okay, so basically I told you something about the attributes of the solution. Okay, so what are these attributes? Okay, so there are different types of solution, there are different components of this solution. Okay, today we will be discussing about these different attributes of the solution. Okay, so the solution had different attributes. Okay, it has different types, it has different, it can have a type, it can have a publisher. Okay, it can have a name, a display name. These are few attributes of the solution. This means, attributes means that this is how we are defining the solution in our system. Okay, so we are defining it with a name, a display name. Okay, at the same time it is also defined by the type of solution it is. Okay, and who is the publisher of this solution. So just like a book or a novel which you might be interested in, or any book which you might be seeing, okay, or any research paper, a solution also has a publisher. Okay, publisher basically means just the person who has created the solution. okay, or the organization for which this solution has been created, or the organization which is creating this solution. Okay, so someone who is working as a CRM executive for a particular organization, they might keep the publisher name set as that particular organization name. Okay, or maybe if you are working on CRM for just for the company which is using that solution, okay, it would have that same name. Okay, although you might be working as a freelancer, so in that case your solution name would be your name or some other name which you might have chosen for your uh, solution. Okay, so we'll take a look on what this publisher solution everything looks like. Okay, before that I want to tell you something about these different types of solutions. Okay, so basically solution, I would say there are of three types. Okay, you must have heard a lot of time that there are two types of solutions. Somewhere here and there you must have heard that there are managed and unmanaged solutions, which is in fact true. But there is one other part of this, that there are managed solutions, there are unmanaged solutions, and there are managed solutions with managed properties. To give you a good example of this, let us say when you order a pizza, okay, what do you get? You get a pizza box, okay, it has a pizza base in it, okay, it is the pizza which you have ordered, okay. At the same time, you have to have some sachets of your oregano or your chili flakes, right? So these sachets, are they sprinkled on top of your pizza already when it is handed over to you? Of course not. It is provided to you in few sachets in case you want to use it. Okay, this is basically a sort of example of what would entail under managed solution with managed properties. Okay, an unmanaged solution is a solution which once you try to create a solution on your own, okay, you will find that that solution is set up as an unmanaged solution. We will take a look at this as well. Okay, so this solution is set up as an unmanaged solution. Okay, this solution can be exported to somebody else, okay, and it can be imported by the other person in the same manner. Okay, and there are no restrictions into making any changes to this unmanaged solution. Okay, however, a managed solution is something which has already been developed. An unmanaged solution is something which is under development. Okay, so it needs to have few relaxation, it needs to have a lot of scope for making improvements, making changes. So that is why an unmanaged solution is something which can be completely changed upon. It can be made, there can be changes made, there can be deletions made, okay, there can be updates made onto an unmanaged solution. Okay, but for a managed solution the same is not true. A managed solution is something like a hard rock, okay, which you cannot break upon once it has been handed over to you. Okay, you go off somewhere and you try to buy a jewelry, okay, it's of gold, diamond, platinum, something, okay, any metal, okay, can you bring it home and try to customize it in your own manner? Of course not. It is something which you have brought and it is going to remain the same way for a very long period of time, until and unless you have some further tools to break it upon. Okay, so that is how a managed solution is. A managed solution is a fixed hard rock which you cannot make any changes to. Okay, while the managed solution with few managed properties. So basically what managed properties entail it, that there is a solution, okay, it has few properties, it has few components. Okay, just like we discussed in the pizza box scenario, it has few components. What are the components in the pizza box? There's a box, that is the package of it all. Yes, it is the complete package of this all. And in that package you have your pizza, you have your different sachets. Okay, now in your managed solution with a managed with few managed properties, okay, this managed properties are going to allow the other person, once you have exported this solution, once you have sent this solution to somebody else, okay, it is going to allow the other person to make a few changes. Okay, these changes have been decided upon by you. Okay, let us take a quick example. When you are using any application in your phone, okay, take any messaging application, can you change the logo of that messaging application? You cannot. Okay, if it is any application, be it your Facebook messenger or your WhatsApp messenger or Skype, any messenger, can you change the logo of that messenger? Of course not, you cannot do that. Why? because the publisher, the one who has made that application, has ensured that this is something a user cannot change. So when you are exporting a solution to a user, to a organization, okay, you are giving them few allowances in few areas. At the same time, you're not allowing them to change a few things. This is what happens when you give them a managed solution with a few managed properties. In the
So,
same way,
so
in your application, in your messaging application, okay, you can make a few changes in your own display name, okay, in your own display picture. Okay, you can customize it for your own use. You can make groups of your own, right? You can add few people in that. You can change the name of the contacts. Okay, now since you have a friend, they have a fixed phone number, you cannot change their phone number, right? But you can change the contact name by which you have saved that particular phone number. Okay, so these are few allowances which have been given to you in your mobile system, in your mobile applications. Okay, and in the same way, when you are exporting a solution, when you are trying to provide a solution for the company's problem in CRM, okay, to serve the company's needs and requirements for CRM, you are going to give them, you have the choice whether you want to give them some allowances, okay, some requirements and changes which they can make on their own, okay, without having to move over to a developer side of the entire system. Okay, they can make some changes to the solution which they have imported from you. Okay, I think there were a few questions around here. Yes, Rohit, you were asking what is the difference between managed solution with and without managed properties. Yes.
that you clarified already. One thing I just as you mentioned, like when end user want some kind of modifications, right? Then they would be going with the managed solution and enabling managed property. So in my opinion, most of the case it would be like a managed solution with the managed property has to be there, right?
Right,
Because
right.
it's a very rare probability to have a some kind of hard and fast kind of a solutions, right? Very exceptional case it could be, but still they wanted to have a, some kind of flexibility so that their own development team can do some modifications, in my
Right,
opinion.
right, absolutely. So basically, if you are giving out your CRM solution to an organization which does not have any experience in using CRM at all, okay, they are completely reliant on you. Okay, then in order to make sure that there is no difference or any fatal changes or errors or bugs which might come up because of their working on the CRM and making some changes, you might give them a completely hard managed solution, okay, with no managed properties. Although it is very rare because most of the companies, they do have a small development team or few people who are very much fluent with the software of CRM to make a few changes based on the managed properties which have been given. Okay, so
One thing I was I think I somehow I missed it. I think, can you please help me out? What is the need of a solution? Why exactly it required altogether? I was not able to follow actually. Why
right,
this solution required? Sorry, earlier slide I missed it out.
no problem, no problem. So basically what a solution entails it, okay, that a company requires some CRM, a company has some CRM requirements. Okay, so to compete with the CRM requirements, instead of giving them access to an entire software where they are not aware of which particular component or which particular module is relevant to their problems in CRM, okay, we are giving them a fixed solution. Okay, just how when you're asked a certain question, okay, like if I'm going to ask you your name, you're going to give me this fixed answer which is Rohit. Okay, because this is the question which I asked you. Okay, if I ask you something else, you will give me an appropriate answer. Okay, so for this we want to address a certain requirement, we want to address a certain need of the organization. That is the reason we are giving them a solution which has few components, few processes which are going to cover various aspects of their CRM requirements and needs. Okay, in a
So
certain manner. Yeah.
So you are trying to say, so let us say I have a one client, okay, and he has a three process. Okay, so one, let us say, one process as a leave management process, right? One is a loan management process or something, let us say some other kind of process. So three independent process are there. So you're trying to say you would be going to create a one three solutions, I would say, right? One solution for the leave management process, one for the different process, and you would be working independently over those solutions, correct?
Right. So we can package these solutions in different ways, based on the requirement, as you mentioned.
Okay.
Okay. There
Sure.
can also,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So there are basically going to be different ways in you can work on this solution. Okay, there are few default solutions which are present. Okay, once you create your account via the link I'll be sharing with you. Okay, for your trial setup, once you do that, you will see a long list of solutions which are already present. Okay, so this is known as a default solution, where the publisher has been set as Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft is the company, is the software developer for Microsoft Dynamics 365, and they are the ones who have created these default solutions which are present for every user who is going to create a trial setup in this tool. Okay, so just yeah. So moving on, what can be added to a solution? Okay, so basically I have listed out a lot of components which can be added to a solution, but basically you can add whatever you need. Okay, whatever processes, whatever components, whatever components which you've added. Okay, and what are relating to these components, all of these things can be added into a solution. So basically, a short answer to what can be added to a solution is basically everything. Okay, you can take up different default solutions, customize them, add few more components to them, and then even export that solution. So basically your solution is the first step or the first rock of your Dynamics 365 tool. Okay, if you want to do anything in your Dynamics 365, you will need a solution. It can be a default solution, it can be a customized solution. Okay, which you have customized on your own, which you have developed on your own. Okay, but a solution is something which is essential, it is mandatory to create and to work upon your tool. Okay.
Manya, you mentioned about a default solution just a few minutes back. What is it
Yeah.
actually?
Yeah, so I just mentioned a default solution is something which has already been offered by Microsoft, okay, in your Dynamics 365 tool. Okay, so when you make a new account, okay, in Dynamics 365, you will already get few default solutions which are already present. Okay, they are something which is present by default. Apart from this, you can
Okay.
add some more.
Okay, got it, got it. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
I think all of you will get some more idea if I try to just share my screen and show you um, how this is actually functioning, right?
So how we can get access to the system like practice activity? If you can help me out.
Yes, so I will be sharing a document with all of you. Okay, using that document, you can create a trial instance. Okay, I'll be sharing the links, all the different steps which are involved. Okay, there will be
So will it be a free or how exactly it is?
no, it is completely free for 30 days. Okay, for
Okay.
30 days, you can get a trial for this. Okay, and you can work upon this. And even after that, you can use another email ID and create a new trial instance and export the solution and the things which you are working on from the first trial instance to the other. Okay, so you will get all the steps for doing this. Let me just share my screen. Yes, so this is what your Dynamics 365 is going. This is going to be a first look of your Dynamics 365 system. Okay. I think once you get the documentation regarding how to create your own trial instance, okay, you will know how to get to the screen. Okay. Basically, there is a particular link and a login credential which is going to be required for accessing this. I have my own credentials, an email ID, and a password, as well as I have a fixed link over here. Okay, so once you are here, okay, this is basically your front end. Okay, this is where if someone is working in the organization where you have transported your solution, this is where that person will be adding different components, adding different records, okay, adding different data, okay, regarding the system. Okay, this is where this is the screen which will be opened up mostly by the ones who are working on the front side of this entire CRM tool. Okay, so you however are someone who have to work on customization. Okay. So in order to customize this, okay, you will be going here on next to the settings page. Here you can see your login credential. Okay, this is mine. My name is Manya Singh, so this is my login credential here which is coming up. Okay, then you have few more tabs which you'll be getting to in the short time. Here are ours. You can see a settings icon. Okay, in the setting icon, the second option which is advanced settings. So we'll be going to advanced settings. And here you can see settings. Okay, a few other entities are also present. Okay, without getting distracted by all the different processes and different fields which you are getting. For now, let us focus on solution since we know that it is very essential to create a solution. Okay, so now you were talking about default solutions, right? So these are few default solutions which have been added. You can see their publisher is set up as Microsoft Corporation or Dynamics 365. Okay, so these are the default solutions which have been added by Microsoft themselves so that it is easy to use, and there are few functions which are already given in Dynamics 365 for the user. Okay, there are few solutions here. Now you would see that here a publisher is mentioned. Okay, so the publisher is someone who has made this solution. Okay, and this is also the person who by which this particular solution will be identified. Okay, so this is an identification for the publisher for the solution. Okay, so your publisher is basically the one who has created the solution. Okay, in the marketplace when you have exported your solutions to some place, okay, you don't want someone else to take credit for your hard work. Okay, so definitely you would want that the one who has worked upon this should get due credit. Okay, and their publisher name is always present in that particular solution. At the same time, when you're working in an organization as a CRM executive, and there might be more than one person who is working for the solution of uh, solution for one client. Okay, so maybe there are 3 or 4 people working on the same project. Okay, and you are constantly sharing entities here and there between your accounts. In that case, your publisher name is very important to understand which part has been created by which user or which employee. Okay, so at the same time there are various instances where uh, two different users might have created the component of a similar name or the same name. Okay, so this publisher is also very important in identifying which component has been created by which publisher. Okay, so this publisher name, as you can see here, is present. Okay, and this is also one of the first few steps which we will be taking up today. We're going on settings. Okay, we'll be moving towards customizations. Since we are here to customize the system, okay, you can see here there are various aspects. There is solutions, there is a customization option, there are themes which you can change on how these colors are coming up in the front end. Okay, at the same time you have a publisher option. So first let us go and create a publisher. So here you can see there are few default publishers which have already been added. Okay, These default publishers are by Microsoft, Microsoft Dynamics
Oh,
365, Dynamics
um,
365.
Manya, Manya, I can't see the publisher. I think my system is stuck. Or can you, or other
Yes,
guys? Yeah, I
yes,
think can you please share your whole screen? I think it would really be easy. I think
yeah,
you're not
yeah,
showing the whole screen.
So I hope my screen is visible to all of you now.
Yes, I think it looks. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay, that's great. So as you can see, we have few default publishers. Okay, they have a display name, a name, okay, a prefix. Okay, a prefix is what? A prefix is something which comes before the word. Okay, in general, prefix is defined as something which is coming before the actual word. Okay, so this prefix basically means that whatever solutions, whatever components which you are creating in your Dynamics 65 under this particular publisher, okay, they will have a certain prefix to identify that, okay, this component has been created by a particular publisher. Okay, they can also have some description. Okay, at times, since when you are posting up a publisher and sharing it with other people on an open source platform, okay, you might require them to contact you in case of any issues. So there are also phone numbers, email, website, and different details of the publisher which you can add. Okay, so without further ado, let us start with creating our own publisher. So let me just click on new. You can see here, okay, where we'll be creating our own new publisher. Okay, so now you might be wondering why there are two different names for this, right? I know this is a very common question which does come up, that why are there two different names? Why do we need two names for just one publisher? Okay, so here we have two names. One is the name and one is the display name. So display name is something which can be used to identify the publisher for the user. Okay. While the name is something which is going to be used by the system to identify this publisher. Moving forward, you must get used to this display name and name system, because this is going to be used further in all the different components which you are going to create and all the components which you are going to customize in Dynamics 365. Okay, so everything is going to have a display name and a name.
So name kind of a backend kind of information, like in backend, what kind of a what it's like a backend ID kind of thing. Is my understanding correct?
Yes, 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 yes. Your understanding is correct.
It can't be changed. It can't be changed. I think once we save it,
Yes,
kind of.
once you have created the name, okay, it is something which the entire system, the backend code is identifying your name with it. Okay, so basically, right now we are working on a tool, right? But obviously, you don't see it. But at the backend, there is actual code running up based on various framework, based on various languages. Okay, so those languages, those codes are going to identify your publisher by a fixed name. Okay, now this name has certain restrictions. Okay, it cannot have spaces in between, it cannot have capital letters in it. Okay, so obviously this name is going to be very difficult to read for a normal person, right? Because it is going to not have any spaces. Now if it is a pretty big name, it is difficult to read without any space, right? So obviously we'll be using a display name which is going to be more useful for the user, okay, and the person who's working on the system to identify the publisher. And this is the name which is going to be shown up everywhere. Okay, at the same time in the backend, the system is going to recognize your publisher by this name. Okay, so let me start by adding a display name. Our display name here is KTS Technologies. Okay, once I've added this name, you can see that automatically the system has removed the few parts of the display name which are not compatible with the name and made a name on its own. You can also change this right now. Okay, in case you feel that there is already a publisher of this name. Okay, also one more thing, this name is going to be completely unique. Okay, you can have two publishers of the same display name, okay, but not of the same name. So the name is something which is going to be used for identification of this publisher. Okay, so it is going to be unique, it is going to have few constraints It does not have any spaces, any special characters other than underscore. Okay, and it is going to be completely in small caps. Okay, it is not going to have any capital letters. Okay, so what has the name done? It has taken up the display name. Okay, removed KTS and T, which was in caps. Okay, removed the space between KTS and technologies and given us a name already. Okay, now if I make any changes to this display name, this name is not going to change. Okay, if I want to make some changes in the display name, I'll have to add it here. So this name is automatically set just once when you have entered the display name for the first time. After that, you have to make changes manually. Okay. Now here we are coming up to the point where we are adding a prefix. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, we'll be having a prefix where which is going to come before every word. Okay, before the display name of every component. Okay, this prefix is going to be present. Okay, so basically I'll be adding here KTS tech. Okay, so whatever entity is present, it will have the option of KTS tech. Okay, here in the same way as a display name for the prefix is KTS tech, and this is a name preview. Okay, so what does this name preview mean? Name preview just shows that how once you have added this prefix, how the components will be saved and how they will be shown in the system. Okay, so whatever entity, whatever component is present over here, okay, before that KTS tech will be present like this. There will be KTS tech, an underscore, and then the entity name. Okay, so this entity name can be A, B, C, X, Y, Z, anything. It will be KTS tech underscore ABC underscore XYZ. Okay. At the same time, you have an option to add few contact details. As I mentioned, you can give details about your address, your phone, your website. Okay, so that is pretty much it regarding our publisher. You also have an option value prefix. Okay, so this option value prefix basically is going to entail, just 1 second. Yes, sorry about that. Let us start once again. Yeah, I was just telling you about option value prefix. Okay, so just like your prefix here is going to be present before the name of every entity. Okay, there are going to be various options which you can create, and you have the option to create. Okay, in your system as well. Okay, there is a particular component which will contain some options. These options can be a list of various things where you can select from. Okay, it can be a simple yes or no or a true or false option. Okay, and this prefix value, option value prefix, this is basically a 5 digit number. Okay, it is mandatory 5 digits, but you can change the number which is coming up here. So this particular number, okay, it does not have a preview here. Okay, but basically this particular prefix will be present before those option values, before those option components. Okay, so maybe I've created an option called true or false. Okay, if I've created an options for true or false, this particular number will be present before that in the same manner as we have this KTS text present for this entity. Okay, So whatever name I give to that options, the set of options, I will be getting this particular prefix, this particular set of numbers before that, before those option sets. Okay, so let me just save it now. So I can save and close. And here in my list of publishers, the name KTS Technologies is also present. This is the display name. This is the name. This is the prefix. I have not added any other data regarding description, phone, email, and website. So these are blank. Okay. So now that our publisher is ready, let us try to create a solution as well. So once again, we'll be going to our settings, our customizations. I'll be moving towards solutions now. We have created a publisher. Okay, so we now have an identity for the things which we are going to create. So now that our identity is ready, let us go on and create a new solution. Okay, so here there are few default solutions as we have already discussed. Okay, so what we'll be doing is we will be going on the first option, that is to create a new solution. There are various options which you can see right now and we will be using them in the future. For now, we'll just go on new solution. So just like you had a display name and a name for the publisher, I asked you guys to get used to it, right? So we have a display name and a name for the solution as well. Okay, so today we'll be creating a solution for their health insurance. This will be basically a solution which will be dealing with the health insurance of all the employees which are involved. Okay, so our display name has health insurance. Okay, once I've entered it, I will find that the name has already been taken up. Okay, which shows health insurance. From here, I can choose my publisher. My publisher, if I start typing the name, okay, I will start seeing that it has already going to show me some options. Okay, at the same time, you can click here on the search option, okay, which will be discussing how this is also coming up. Okay, this is a particular data type in your system which allows you to search for different components in your system. So we'll be skipping on that. Upon clicking, you will see that there are different data for the publishers which is available. Okay, we want to create this particular solution under KTS Technologies. So we'll be clicking on that, and here the publisher KTS Technologies has been added. Okay, now here comes the part about a version. Okay, so version is basically something where we'll be adding a numeric value, okay, which is being distributed with few of these dots. Okay, so basically a version is something which defines the progress of that particular solution. Okay, so basically this is version 1.0.1, okay, 1.0.0. Okay, this is basically means that this is the first version of this particular solution. Okay, maybe in the future I want to create another version of it, I want to create few more updates in it, so it may be 1.0.1. Okay, I'm sure you must have got a lot of notifications in your own mobile system, okay, that this version is now been updated. You can click here to download version 1.1.2, okay, or click here to download version 3.2 or 5.0. Okay, so there are different versions. To understand this version thing better, you can just think of your uh, laptop system for now. Okay, you have seen earlier you were having your Windows XP, okay, from Microsoft. You were having Windows XP, then came up Windows 7, okay, then there was Windows 8. Okay, before that, after that you again had Windows 10. Okay, and now even Windows 11 is coming up. Okay, so some of you might have already got the notification if you want to switch to Microsoft 11, right? Also, there are a lot of different details which you are currently dealing with. Okay, it also shows a system where it is asking you for installed on. Okay, so basically this installed on is something which you cannot add right now because you're creating a completely new solution. Okay, this is not a solution which you have got from someplace else. Okay, this is something which you're creating on your own system for the first time. Okay, when you are completing this entire process of making a solution, few of these parts will obviously be added automatically. Okay, one of this is package type. So obviously, since there is no data in this particular solution, it is completely empty right now. Okay, we are going to start from a blank slate into this solution. Okay, so this is an unmanaged solution. Okay, this is a solution which is not ready for use. Okay, so it is a completely unmanaged solution. Okay, so let me just save and close. Okay, so now my new solution name has been added to the list of all these solutions. Okay, as you can see, there are few managed solutions here which have been given by the publisher, Dynamics 365. Okay, this however is an unmanaged solution. Here also you can see various versions which have been given. Okay, see, these versions is just so that the person can understand what updates have been added to that particular version. Okay, now we have added our solution. Okay, so once you click on this name, okay, you will find that a new solution has been created. Okay, and here there are various components in this solution. Okay, these components, you can see all the different names. As you can see, it's also showing that there are no solution components to show in this view. Why? Because this is an unmanaged solution which you have created just right now. It does not contain any component right now. We will be adding new components into it. At the same time, if I click on a managed solution, I will find a lot of components in it. You can see various components are present in this solution. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be taking up these components. Okay, and what kind of components are part of this solution. Okay, how we will be adding new components. Okay, and what are the different types of components, what are the uses. Okay, we'll be taking these things up tomorrow. Okay, so thank you so much for joining with me today. I hope you have an interactive session with me. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please go ahead. Okay, no questions. Okay, so I'll be seeing all of you tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll be discussing about the different components in this solution. Okay, okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, thank you.